I always get excited when I see that Sephora puts out new value sets. We have these two today. I'm gonna swatch everything. I'm gonna try everything on, and we're gonna see if these are worth it. If there's any products in here that you are actually interested in. This is the Gleamy Dreamy set. We have 10 products total. The two full-size items are the Kosas gel and the Refi highlighter. This is $25, this one's $22, so together they cover most of the set's cost already. The set retails for $52. If you were to really do the math and take the $25 plus the $22 and add the proportional values of all the deluxe samples and the minis, you're looking at a legitimate $104 worth of product at per ounce pricing. So even if half this set disappointed me, I'm still saving money. What do I think of these items? Would I recommend them? Because honestly, I think that several of them are just impractical. Some of them I don't like. Let's get into each one. Let me walk you through these products in the order that we would actually use them. Starting with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I don't like gripping primers. I don't like the sensation. I don't like how sticky they feel. And I don't think they enhance the wear of my makeup. So no, I don't recommend this primer just because of that. I don't like the way that it feels. Next is the Tower 28 Lip Softy. It's not sticky, which is nice. The dome applicator feels very Carmex to me. The shade is Watermelon Kiwi. It has a nice fruity scent. What can I tell you about? I paused the camera now and I was like, what can I possibly say about this tinted lip balm? There's nothing I can tell you because there's nothing special about it. It doesn't give you tremendous color payoff. I like the way that it smells. If you're someone who really likes the Tower 28 branding, their aesthetic, then you might see this as a plus that it comes in the value set, but yeah, nothing special. Next, we have the Huda Blush Filter in Strawberry Cream. The packaging is very cute. The peanut doe foot, well, it's not a doe foot because it's not in the shape of a doe's foot. It's a peanut shape. I don't get it. I don't see the reason why it has to be a peanut shape. Does nothing. I think it was just to be different, not to have the typical doe foot. Yeah, the packaging is very cute actually. It smells like a fruity toy. This is my first time trying it. I really liked how it looked. The end result looked natural and soft. This one is so pigmented that I would say don't go straight on your cheek. I mean, you could if you want a blushy look. You'll get better results, a more diffuse, softer result if you put it in the back of your hand first and pick it up with the brush. So it does require a little bit of technique. Keep that in mind. So depending on if you're a beginner at makeup, know that this is not something, it's not something foolproof, but most importantly, the finish, it wasn't anything special. Again, and I'm seeing a pattern already. From the name, I mean, it's called Blush Filter. I was expecting maybe something more soft focus. I'm thinking about like the Rare Beauty, the putty blushes, actually gives you this cloud-like look to your cheek. I kind of expected that from this, but that's not the case. Next up is the Benetint from Benefit. This is a cheek and lip stain that Benefit came out with a gazillion years ago. Earlier today I was watching an iPhone versus Android comparison of the latest models, whatever. What's funny is that it made me think, and I'm looking at everything that's included in the set, it's like you have a bunch of smartphones and then Sephora throws in a flip phone. This formula just feels dated to me. Sure, it works as a stain on the lips, but it doesn't give you any hydration or anything, so it's not comfortable to wear by itself. And on the cheeks, if you put it directly onto the cheek, it dries so fast that it gives you zero playtime to blend. I had this years and years ago. I didn't remember how fast it does set. That I first put it on the back of my hand. By the time I went to pick it up and was working it in with the brush, it was already dry. If you really want to use a stain, it's best to have unset foundation. You need some sort of like a wet or a dewy base so that your base is kind of cooperating with this tint. In the demo, I'm wearing foundation set with powder. Once you touch this on the cheek, you get a millisecond to blend it. If you really like this tint, please let me know in the comments. Let me know how you wear it and why you like it so much. If it's still selling, there must be people who like it. I do not recommend it. This mascara from Too Faced, when I saw that it was a tubing mascara, I love tubing mascaras because it's so easy to take them off. It's hard to judge a mascara on the first day because the formula goes drying out. The formula seemed okay to me, but I was not in love with the brush, with the wand. Some of the bristles were spread too far apart where they weren't grabbing all of my lashes. No, so I'm trying everything on and nothing is impressing me so far until I get to the Prada lipstick. I had never tried a Prada lipstick. I was very excited and looking forward to it. I thought the color was spot on. Very pretty. Normally when I see pink, I'm like, pink, but this one looked really nice. It goes on smoothly, even though it's a matte finish. This is an expensive lipstick and the formula felt quite luxurious. This does have me thinking that I might want to get in just exactly the same color too. I liked it that much. Where are we at so far? These I would not recommend. These we have not talked about. This one I would recommend. I really liked it. Okay, let's move on to the highlighters. This one from Say. I'm very familiar with this highlighter. I have it in the shade Star Glow and I love it. It is the most natural highlighter without any shimmer and no sparkle whatsoever. And I really like it mixed into foundation. If you want to make a foundation more glowy, try mixing this into your foundation. It's a very natural highlighter though. It's not gonna give you a lot of beaminess. And because this set is called Gleamy and Dreamy, there has to be more shine here. And that's where Refine comes in. I am familiar with this highlighter. This is sticky. This is like lip gloss sticky. Why would you want to put that on your face? Hair sticks to your cheeks. On your body, you have long hair, your hair will stick. And I'm going like this because I actually put it on yesterday here on my chest because I was thinking, okay, what if it gives you this just gorgeous glow and it's worth having that uncomfortable stickiness? No, it's not. It's not. With all of the highlighters out there, this is a perfect example of what I would call impractical. This product for real life, it doesn't work. No. In the demos, you already saw that I did the Huda blush on one cheek and then the Bennett tint on the other cheek. Then I took my makeup off. I put my base back on so that we would have a clean slate to demo Happy. I put it on both cheeks and that is still what I'm wearing right now. This is an excellent blush from Rare Beauty, extremely pigmented. It comes in the shade Happy, which is a really pretty pink. And I was actually able to get it to look really natural. Always put it in the back of your hand. First, pick it up with a brush. I don't dislike it, but if you are someone who likes mindless makeup or really quick makeup, this is not for you. So many blush options to pick from. There's nothing wrong with this blush. I never reach for it though, because it is so pigmented that I'm just like, Even though sometimes I do enjoy the process of playing with my makeup, most of the time I am in a rush and I just have 3-4 minutes to get my makeup on, and this does not fit into that kind of routine. Oh, and what's interesting is that last year I did a detailed, thorough comparison and wear test comparing the Rare Beauty against the e.l.f. dupe. And I liked the e.l.f. dupe more. And then we get to the brow gel. You might be thinking, well, what could you not possibly like about brow gel? I'm gonna show you a close-up right now of what the brush looks like after just one use. There's a little piece of skin in there because I use a lot of exfoliating stuff on my face. I am constantly peeling. Brow gels in general don't work for me because I get them full of skin flakes, and that's just gross. And here are the results. Only one product that I truly loved. Oh wait, no, that's not fair. This is very good. These fall into the I don't like it or they're just nothing special pile. Here's everything that comes in the nude lip set. We have a variety of products from well-known brands such as Haus Labs, Makeup Forever, Lawless, Merit, Laneige, YSL. This is the YSL Love Shine Lip Oil Stick. This one really is a treat in shade 44, Nude Lavalier. This is a pink nude. It's really invisible on my lips, actually. Here I'm wearing the Merit lip liner. And this one from Lawless, Forget the Filler. This is mainly a lip plumper. Well, it claims to be a lip plumper. I do not see any plumping. I think that the current generation of lip plumpers really prioritize comfort a lot more than, remember how at the beginning they used to be super spicy and they would irritate your lips. That's what would make them look plump. People didn't like that, so brands now are saying, forget the spiciness, let's just figure out how to plump lips, but in a way that is still comfortable. I don't think they've figured it out yet. Ah, I smelled it. Smells like maple syrup. Smells delicious. Very familiar with Laneige lip balms. I love them. Then I saw this applicator. It's really creative for packaging purposes to market it like this, that it's like, think glazed donut, and the applicator is in the shape of a donut. And so the product looks like the glaze that's gonna be glazed on top of the donut, right? And also how great that it's this squishy thing. It's the unboxing theatrics that social media loves. And the product is good. It's Laneige quality. Is it fun? Absolutely. And I'm glad that I have it and I will use it. Would I repurchase it? Probably not, but it's solid. This is Super Boost from Makeup Forever in the shade Wherever Walnut, which is a rose. This is one of my go-to lip glosses for every day. I find it incredibly nourishing. It is very much like the Haus Labs that we're gonna talk about, and also while Laneige is a little bit thinner, and I'd say YSL is on a league of its own because it's a thinner, it's a lip oil. This is more of a heavy duty shot of hydration. But I think you'll agree that this packaging from Haus Labs is nicer than the one from Makeup Forever. This is the shade Cocoa. I noticed in the swatches how there's a nice variety of shades here, from pinks to some warm undertones. Some of them are cool, some of them are more neutral. Like I would say the Haus Labs is more neutral than the others. If you haven't tried it yet, I think you should check it out. Next up is the Tarte Maracuja Lip Oil. I had not tried these. It's the first time that I try it. I put it on. I really liked the pigment payoff. I think out of all of them, this is the one that had the most color. The Merit lip liner, and let me show you up here already. Swatched it here. It's very smooth. This is a sheer gel lip liner. The thing with this one is that, look at that, it'll wipe away. This is not gonna stay on your lips for long. It reminds me of the Rhode contouring stick, which was had the same issue, right? It wipes away too fast, too easily. If you're someone who wears lip liner for that bit of definition that it gives to your lips and you want it to last, I'm not saying, okay, it has to last all day, but you don't want it to disappear after you drink coffee, for example. That's where these shouldn't be called lip liner. This one called lip liner? I was gonna say peptide lip shape. Okay, it's not technically called a lip liner, and I understand. Yes, I get that. Is this one called a lip liner? I think they're creating a different category, a new category of product here. Sheer lip liner. If your lips are not very pigmented, for example, maybe you want to wear just a nourishing gloss that has a little bit of color, but you do want to outline with something that gives you more depth without the harshness of, it doesn't have to look harsh, especially if you use a brush. Look, I don't know if this product has an audience or if it's a waste of time, actually, now that I talk through it. Please give me your opinion in the comments. I would love to know. What's my verdict? Worth it or skip it? Just skip it. Yes, I did fall in love with the Prada lipstick, but anything else, kind of yawn. However, the nude lip set, if you haven't yet nailed down a lip formula for every day that keeps your lips nourished, that smells the way you want it to smell, or perhaps that has no fragrance, you want it to look natural, so you want to experiment with different nude shades, this is worth it for discovery purposes. Some of the samples are so tiny, you'll only get, I don't know, maybe 5 uses out of this one. So as long as you don't see this as, oh great, a value set that because it's a set, I'm getting more product for less price. No, what you're paying for is a curation. For us, professional curation intelligence poured into here for the purpose of helping you find an everyday nude formula you love. They give you some of the best. So if you're not familiar with any of these, I highly recommend it. All right, well, that's it for me. I guess not all of Sephora Value sets can be winners. Most of them are for me, but yeah, not this one. Skip it. Potentially worth it to you. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give me a big thumbs up. I will see you very soon in the next one.